89.9 KMOJ, the People Station. Twin Cities is 2 after the 1 o'clock hour. And you are tuned in to Glam Life Kim. And in the building with me today is one of my favoriteest people in the whole wide world. What's up, Anthony
Hey,
Taylor?
what's up, sis? How you doing? Good
You
to see you. Can you hear
good.
me?
You know what? I can't let's do this one.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear you
That's
great in
better.
that one. That one's way better.
Okay. How you been?
You know what? I've been all right. I will not complain. Just taking it a day at a time.
Huh?
That's all you can do,
It's
right?
good to see you. It's been a while since we riding shotgun together.
I know it has. Twin Cities, my dad passed away, so I have been out of town in Indianapolis since end of August?
Yeah, you've been gone for a while.
Yes.
We shot you some prayers and everything else.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. That was one of the most challenging things I think I've ever had to deal with.
I believe it. Anytime you lose a loved one, it's tough.
It's gonna be tough.
God got you though.
Hey, yes, he do. That
God
is the
got you.
truth. And I'm so happy to be back here with you. I'm ready to get back into the swing of
man,
things.
Let's get to it. It's like old times.
Just like old times.
Yes. And listen, y'all, I'm always blessed to be here every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. My name is Anthony Taylor. Welcome to Minneapolis 360. Such a beautiful day.
It is
crazy that we got 70 degrees and all of these things.
Right?
It's a little cold today,
it is
but
a little cold.
I'm gonna take it.
Me too. I love my jogging suits. I love some leather jackets and some leather boots.
Oh man, look at that.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you rock your stuff. Man.
Period.
Yeah.
Now I just don't want it to get too cold though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Hey, Minneapolis, y'all know how we do. It's the weather report. We should be on like Fox 9 in the morning, giving the wardrobe update, right?
Period.
Get them Timbs out.
Right. That's that time of the year.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So listen, y'all, we're going to get right to it. I know I usually give you a whole bunch of news bites and everything else, but today I want to kind of get into it. There's a couple topics I really want to talk about today. One of them is the Third Precinct building, kind of get an update on that. Listen, Minneapolis, for the last couple of weeks, I have been telling you our city is going to look totally different.
Yeah.
We've had conversations on the Blue Line extension, y'all, over the years. We've had conversation on Upper Harbor. We've had conversations around George Floyd Square. We've had conversation about safety centers. And again, just a lot of things are going to change in this city. So for me, the best way to do it is have folks come on and talk about that. So I'm going to have somebody come on to talk about the Third Precinct. He's been here many times, and also Minneapolis Employment and Training with some resources available. I've got Marie Larson and Alexander Kado on deck. And Alexander, you've been on a lot of times, man, so I'm not even going to have people introduce you. But at least say hey to the people, Alexander. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, Anthony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. How you doing, Alexander?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good, absolutely. I mean, bro, you done broke the record, man, for the most guests on the show, man. So it's almost like you should be riding shotgun in the studio with me, man. So always a pleasure. I know you're busy. I want to get straight to it, man. When we talk about the Third Precinct, tell us a little bit some of the updates, because really there's a name change and there's some plans around the Third Precinct. So, Alexander, give us an update on where we at. Are you there still?
I'm here. Hello?
Okay, I got you
now,
now.
Anthony?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. So after a long community input process, the city has proposed redeveloping the site of the former Third Police Precinct located at 3000 Minnehaha Avenue into a new democracy center and community space. So we at the city are proposing to turn the building into a democracy center that would house our election and voter services and offer some large ground floor space for community use. EVS, for folks that don't know, is our only vote center. It houses our election staff. We also have some space for election-related equipment and supplies. Also coordinate mail balloting, hospital voting, voter outreach, and engagement. We'd have 8,000 square feet of community space. So all that's kind of underway right now. And also we're going to be doing some cleanup to the building, repairing outside the building, cleaning up graffiti, new doors and windows, maintenance checks, and then removing temporary barriers and razor wire fencing.
Talking to Alexander Cato, Senior Project Manager, Office of Public Service, talking about the Third Precinct, now called the Democracy Center, to be an early voting center for folks in Minneapolis. And Alexander, like, this is a huge building. 80,000 square feet. Just curious on why would this be the new home for the voter and election services?
Yeah, absolutely. So now more than ever, access to the ballot is a top priority for our city, especially with the upcoming election. Um, so this is the strategic location for EVS because it's an essential location. It has bus, train, and a bike trail close by, and also is in an area with a historically low voter turnout. I do want to clarify, though, that for this upcoming election, for the presidential election on November 5th, folks should still be using our early vote center at 980 East Hennepin Avenue in Northeast Minneapolis. So if you're voting in this election, you're still going to want to go there. And I just want to clarify that so we're not confusing people.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's good information to know, Alexander. And the thing about it was so interesting, and I'm one of the reasons I'm glad that you came on because it's a name change, right? So it's just almost like New Nicolette, right? People will call it Kmart, right? So Third Precinct, call it the Democracy Center. It's good to make sure that people understand exactly what those locations are and their names, and then being able to get that information because you're right, we are just a few weeks away from the general election. And the thing about it is you want people to know where to go and where not to go. And as we kind of transition, Alex, and I'm going to get you out of here with the next couple of questions because I know you got a busy schedule. One of the things that I know about the city of Minneapolis, and especially with all of this engagement that's been happening around a lot of different projects, important projects in this city, is that you've done an engagement process, right? So tell people, and that's important because one of the things people always want to know is like, how did you engage the city? What's some of the input that you got from these engagements, whether it's open houses, whether it's surveys, whether it's anything that involves engagement? Just give us kind of, Alex, just a kind of a quick snapshot on the engagement and some of the things that you heard from community.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've hosted many community meetings and open houses. So specifically this summer, the project team had various input mechanisms for engagement. That included in-person meetings. We had stakeholder conversations. We had 2 open houses. And then also we released a survey. And with the survey, we found 63% of respondents support the Democracy Center proposal. And that support was even stronger from those living in the Third Precinct, where 70% of respondents expressed support. And then furthermore, 50% of respondents believe the proposal could contribute to racial healing as well. So that was a really important piece. And we also did some engagement around the first floor in that community space, which will be the majority of the first floor. And we got a lot of really popular ideas for folks wanted social services. People were interested in business services as well, community gathering space, and really just a way to kind of serve as a beacon for the community, which I think is really important. Obviously, EVS serves a huge good for just democracy in our city, but the majority of the first floor, 8,000 square feet, which is about the size of a CVS Caremark or a Walgreens, would be dedicated to community use, and we're going to be starting that process and that engagement later on this fall with the request for proposals process. So, a lot of good feedback that we gathered over this year from an engagement standpoint.
And when would EVS move into that building, Alexander?
Yeah, we don't have an exact date when everything will be moved over. You can refer to the city's social media website for all those updates, but we're working on it right now, but don't have an exact date yet.
Talking to Alexander Kado, Senior Project Manager, Office of Public Service, Minneapolis. We are talking about the Third Precinct, now the Democracy Center. Early voting services will be in that building, plus a whole lot more things and updates to come. One of the things, Alex, that I think, Alexander, I think is important is the fact that people want to know. I mean, that's the old police building, and when people think of Third Precinct, they think of the police. My question to you is that will police move back into that Third Precinct building?
No, they are moving into a new community safety center down the street, which is at 222 East Lake Street. They'll be there for a few years, and then they're going to move to a building on 26th and Minnehaha permanently. And so that's going to be, right now they're moving to the Lake Street Safety Center, and then they'll be moving to the South Minneapolis Community Safety Center. So they are not going to be moving back into the Third Precinct, but they will be returning into the Third Precinct area very shortly.
Correct, which I think is vital, absolutely, because they're located downtown now. And Alex, I get you out of here, you've got your hands on so many different projects in the city, and you're one of the most important people to come on to talk about that because you know
I
these
appreciate
things
that.
in detail, right? And one of the things I'd love to do is just right now, just give you some space to kind of talk about some of the things that are upcoming for folks. So, Alexander, with the last couple minutes, give some folks
Yeah.
just some idea of what some of the things that come up in our city.
Yeah, so I'm the project manager for this body of work and also for George Floyd Square. And we have been doing visioning workshops throughout the course of this year. We're having our final event this Tuesday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Calvary Lutheran Church at 3901 Chicago Avenue. And we're going to be sharing our community developed vision for George Floyd Square. So that'll include next steps for the People's Way site, for memorials, and also for the street design, which we'll be sharing at this event. It really accumulates many years of engagement, and specifically over this last year, our engagement work with our team, which includes Formula and the Cultural Wellness Center, and is really kind of a final sharing of the work that we've been doing through community to develop a vision to guide the future of George Floyd Square. We really hope you can attend. It's open to everyone. We'll be serving the dinner. It's Tuesday, October 29th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Calvary Lutheran Church at 3901 Chicago Avenue. So just one block south of the intersection of 38th and Chicago.
Yeah, Alexander, and thank you. Like, this is a huge deal. Like, if you talk
Mhm.
about all the visioning workshops that's happened throughout the course of the year, and then all the engagements that's happened specifically around the square. I mean, this is a huge deal because this is the final meeting out of all of this, and then of course, I'll have you on to talk about the next step, and then the People's Way and everything else. But this is a big deal for community, and I'm glad that you brought that up again, you guys. This is the dinner dialogue on George Floyd Square, Tuesday, October 29th at Calgary Lutheran Church, 3901 Chicago Avenue, from 5:30 to 8. So, listen, Alexander, I appreciate you. Love to have you back on here soon. So, have a great rest of your day, bro. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Anthony.
That was a lot of information
That
in a real
was.
short period of time, but it's important too, Kim, and I think maybe we'll get a chance to kind of talk
Talk
about
on it.
that too, because that's
Mhm.
that's the last and final meeting before the recommendations on what to do with that whole entire
Right.
street and everything else, and it's been a long time coming.
It has. It has. So if you are in that neighborhood or if you just want to be a part of getting the word out, make sure that you guys attend that dinner and tell people about it, right?
Absolutely, and if you haven't been able to get caught up on it, I mean, this is the time to do it. So,
Yes.
and then we transition. Marie, are you there? Marie Larson,
I'm
from
here.
yeah.
I'm here. Hello.
Good to see you. We are talking about Minneapolis employment and training, resources available for job seekers, and so much more. So, Marie, I'm gonna kick it off, man. This is a fast moving show. I hope you're ready.
She sounds
I'm
ready.
ready.
She sounds
Yeah,
ready.
she sounds ready.
Absolutely. So, introduce yourself to Minneapolis and tell us what you do for the city.
Thank you, Anthony, for your warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Marie Larson, and I work for the City of Minneapolis in Employment and Training. We're a division of Community Planning and Economic Development, sometimes called CPED, and I'm the Industry Relations Manager, and I work with Minneapolis employers to help them to connect to our talented Minneapolis residents to promote jobs and careers for our community.
Wonderful.
Absolutely, and I love that. So, like,
Mhm.
explain like what this does, right? Because I can see
Yeah.
employment and training and resources. Like, give us a little bit more detail about
Yeah.
the employment and training
Give us the
program.
tea.
The T.
Absolutely. Okay. So we offer resources to job seekers as well as to businesses, and our goal is to strengthen the workforce in our area. We also partner with community based organizations, many of them on the north side of Minneapolis and throughout the city. There are job seeker supports available at those community based organizations to help people get ready for jobs. And we partner with businesses directly to help them find and to train their workers right here in Minneapolis. Minneapolis Employment and Training staffs something called the Minneapolis Workforce Development Board, and we oversee the services that are provided at the local career force locations.
Nice.
Talking with Marie Larson, Minneapolis Employment and Training. You just heard her talk about career force. Explain that a little bit more, Marie. What is that?
I'd be happy to. Yes, career force locations are brick and mortar actual buildings that stand in the city of Minneapolis, where job seekers are invited, encouraged to come on in to find support and what you're looking for next in your job training, a new job, a new career, going in that new direction. There are services available at Career Force. There are a variety of different programs and services, such as, for instance, if you have been dislocated or laid off from your job, no fault of your own, we can help people who are looking for jobs or a new job in that situation. Maybe you're somebody who's out there who's working now, but what you want to do is to be able to get a better job, a living wage job to support your family, and you're looking for assistance to find, first of all, what are those jobs? Are you prepared for them? And do you need any new skills in order to achieve those jobs? The Career Force location is there to assist you. We have weekly job clubs and workshops that are completely free of charge to assist people with things like getting your resume ready, getting ready for interviews, getting access to no-cost employment and training programs in many different industry sectors. And we also host right there at Career Force hiring events where employers come on site to meet career seekers from Minneapolis. So your KMOJ listening audience know that this is all available to you at Career Force locations in Minneapolis, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, and I want to take a step back because this is important. Like one of my favorite things about this show is the platform. And one of the subjects that I love to talk about is jobs and job opportunities. You know, we've had Public Works come on to talk about different jobs and different workshops and different things that help folks get their jobs and resumes and everything else. And then we talk about now with the career force and economic and employment and training. To me, I think that's just so important. And as we kind of move back into that, because I want you to kind of talk about it, is that just like when you see folks being able to get all of the information they need and they meet the job, the employers, and they get their resume done and everything else, like what are some of your takeaways when you see people use these services?
Right. Well, first of all, what we see is that there are a lot of folks who are out there in our community who are looking to get connected. You know, sometimes when we're busy with our, 9 to 5 job or maybe our, 11 to 7 job, we have whatever we're doing right now to support ourselves and our families. What we find is that like having that support to be able to make connections, to network with for jobs where there are openings that are growing right in our community. Like, for instance, I just want to talk about something that we have on the table that's going to be starting here later in 2024, and that is called Work Northside. Work Northside is going to be an initiative where we really want to talk about those specific companies that have jobs open now, where you, our community members, would be invited to apply and be able to find a job, a high quality career right here in your own backyard. Our tagline for that, Anthony, is called, "If your next job is right around the corner," right? So without having to go very far at all, and literally right up to 800 West Broadway on the north side, right? There's a whole group of people who are there ready to receive you, and people who come in and just, to be honest, they're not totally sure what's there, right? I mean, it's a building, we see a sign, but what is inside there? So my goal today is to really encourage people to go in the door and to get connected. There's a whole calendar of resources. We talked already about, those interview and resume preparation workshops and one-to-one appointments, by the way. So you can go ahead and get a career coach to help you out. Let them know what you're looking for. Let them know where you've been. They can help you if you're not totally sure what those next steps are. They're there to do that career counseling, to help individuals to create that pathway and to start to take those next steps. Maybe you're ready to go and you're ready to just start to network and to apply. There are resources there, including computers, everything else that you would need to get your resume in, to get some help again from a professional counselor to do all of that work. And by the way, we have employers who also call Career Force, right? And who come in the door and say, "Hey, can you help me find talent here in Minneapolis?" So know that there's like active opportunity going on at Career Force every day.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like me and Kim just started smiling with that tagline, right? Because it's so true. And the thing about it, there's always this misconception or wrong narratives that there aren't jobs here available, specifically in like North Minneapolis. Like your job is literally like right around the corner, as your tagline says. And just talk a little bit about that, Marie. Like there's
Yeah.
more to offer than just what you may hear as a false narrative in this community.
Well, that is true. And we do talk to people. You ask, what do we see when folks come in the door? And actually, in all reality, what we see is people will say things like, hey, Marie, my understanding is that jobs in the metro area are, out in the suburbs, way out there, 45 minutes away, or maybe even more than that. If are trying to take a bus, if there's a bus available, or the train, right? Like, are these the jobs? Are these the only jobs? And we find out that people are really looking for a way to, first of all, get a job that's economical for their family, right? That you can get to, that's realistic, but that's paying well. And those jobs do exist in Minneapolis and on the north side. So it's true that there can be some misconceptions, but I think just also a lack of visibility for these high quality employers that are out here. Like, who are they? Like, what do I know? Sometimes we'll see like even a building and it's hard to even picture what goes on, right? Like, what is in here? Like, what's the job? What does that look like? How do I get involved? So we're going to be opening those doors, Anthony, by saying, hey, come and join us and discover what is going on in the north side of Minneapolis. Let's get some tours. Let's get the employers over to talk to us more about it. They're going to be creating videos, even if you can't get there during the open house. There will be a platform online where people can go to take a look, to see it, and to know exactly who the recruiter is in North Minneapolis who can help you to make the connection there and get you in for those interviews and so forth. So I think it's really going to be a game changer to be able to raise this awareness and really shine a light on those high quality, again, career opportunities right here on the north side.
Yeah, I agree. And with all this good information, like how can someone find more about this, Marie?
Sure. Well, there are a number of different avenues to find out more. So one thing that we would suggest is for the City of Minneapolis itself has a webpage that's dedicated to City of Minneapolis employment and training. Probably the easiest thing to do in order to find it is just to go right to the City of Minneapolis webpage and type Minneapolis Employment and Training into the search bar, and then you will come to that CPED webpage where you can find information on everything that I've been talking about: youth programs, programs for adults, those who've been laid off, as well as resources for businesses that might want to get connected to Work Northside as a way for, again, no charge to them to get connected to that initiative to find their next talent on the north side. Job seekers can also visit a career force location. We talked about that already a little bit. They are available as well online at careerforcemn.com. The north side location is careerforcemn.com/north. And then the South Minneapolis Career Force location, which is down at 777 East Lake Street, they also have a website, which is careerforcemn.com/south. And as well, I should just put in a quick plug that Cedar Riverside Opportunity Center is also out there at 505 15th Avenue South, right there at Cedar Riverside, if that's more convenient for you, to go in the door to any of those bricks and mortar locations or check out those Career Force web pages. Another avenue to more information is something called our Job Seeker Bulletin. That is an electronic distribution of a newsletter, and I will tell you right now, it is chock full of information. There's like something going on all the time, and it's a great way to get that news and those updates. So Job Seeker Bulletin, that newsletter, again, if you go to the city's website and you just go ahead and type in Job Seeker Bulletin, you'll be able to find your way to it, and you can subscribe to get that each time it comes out. Will come to your email box for you. If you are an employer and you're listening today and you want to get involved at Career Force or in Work Northside or have any other questions about our programs, by the way, talent development program open for businesses to apply, skills-based hiring, many other initiatives out there to assist businesses in their work in hiring and talent acquisition and training their employees. So my email is marie.larson@minneapolismn.gov.
Man, you killed it, man, for the first time. That's pretty good information, Marie.
All in one walk.
All in one walk, yeah. So listen, as we push up against the clock, I just want to thank you for that. I would love to maybe have you back and just talk about any more programs and just what you see and to promote these things. But like ultimately, like I said, this is one of my favorite topics, and this to get folks access to making their lives better. So thank you for coming on, Marie. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Marie.
it. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
You too.
Yeah, that's like Kim. I love that, man. I
Yes.
just can't get enough of that. Where people can just whatever they need to make their situation better. It's a
Hey,
beautiful thing.
it
You know?
is. And the fact that we are able to get this information out, is amazing. So we just hope that you guys spread the word.
Yes, yes.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Yes. So what you think about all the stuff that's happening on 30th in Chicago, right? This is it. Like they're gonna either open the street, close the street. You know,
It's about to get real.
it's a long time.
It has been. I mean, I kind of like it the way it is now. I think I've kind of gotten a little used to it, maybe. But I'm sure for people who live in the neighborhood, they may want their city, their street back.
They may want the street back. They may want it open. They may want it in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And one of the things I think that's interesting from what I've been hearing is at least there's a decision coming.
Right.
And that way, if you are happy with it, you happy with it. If you're not, you're not. But
it is what it is.
And you're not going to please everybody.
You can't.
Right? It's
impossible. It's impossible.
But as we move up to like maybe almost close to, over 4.5 years since, George Floyd was murdered, we're at a point now where, it's start to be some real changes over there.
Wow. I mean, that's something we'll never forget.
That's true.
Something we'll never forget.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm curious to see what direction this is going to go.
The dinner dialogue.
I think. Look, you better be there.
It's like the big reveal, right?
It is.
They'll let people know exactly what the decision. That decision will go to city council. City council will approve that, and then we go to another phase. So.
Right. Are you going to make it to the dinner?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it there. I've been to the last several. It's interesting. And folks, go listen again. October 29th, 5:30 to 8:30 at Calgary Lutheran Church. It is the last meeting of all the George Floyd kind of conversations and engagement. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I enjoy when people gather, especially on something important.
Yes.
And then I like to be in the mix of the reactions and hear people and what they got to say because everybody got a voice.
Everybody has a voice.
So, hey, good to see you, sister.
It is always a pleasure seeing you.
Love seeing you.
Yes.